Welcome back to the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm Papa Pepper. Today I've got one a little bit out of the ordinary. I had a list recently of some homesteading goals for the year, and I wanted to make that a little more exhaustive just because I wanted to have it documented and then to be able to look back and actually see how many things I accomplished on that list, but then also to kind of see how much stuff is left if I don't finish it all. And I also recently watched a video from the Yeti, the simple Yeti, over at Humble Valley Homestead, and he had some really good stuff to share. We met online, but then we've also hooked up a couple times in real life. Probably gonna see some more of that in the future with them. I think in March maybe they're looking to get some rabbits, so Pinky Pepper's on that. She's gonna have a trio of rabbits ready for them, a buck and 2 does. And that'll be good for us. We kind of try to print new rabbits all the time, and as we get more new ones, got to get rid of more old ones and things like that. But then also some of the things that he said in his video really hit me, and I also kind of left a rather fun comment. And really, when you look at our lives and people who put out videos, what you get is an edited version of their life. I remember once Farmer G, who I believe had 3 children, made a comment of us when I think we had 6. And he goes, "Wow, man, I have such a rough time with 3. You make it look so easy with 6. And I'm like, I edited it. You know, the reason it looks so easy is that I edited it. Not every rough and tough and hill and valley and, you know, hard situation exactly gets shared online. We have discretion. We have discernment. We also have the opportunity to edit. Now, we're not trying to make ourselves out to be anything we're not. And there's a number of people, I think the Yeti over at Humble Valley Homestead would be one of them, who says, wow, you know, people who you sometimes see online and you wonder what they're like in real life, and they're just like they are online when you get to them in real life. That's you. You know, he's had comments like that before. And I think that I would testify the same of him. We're kind of more raw, less, I don't know what you want to call it, less manufactured. You know, I could be very different online than I am in real life, but I couldn't be very different online than I am in real life and still be a man of integrity and honesty, if you know what I mean. Because that would be a false facade, something that's not real that I'd be putting forth to you, and to me that's deception. That's lying. So in the grand scheme of things, those who truly and humbly and openly share their lives, I think do so out of a genuineness that you're not going to find sometimes when things are over processed or over edited or, you know, presented only in a certain way. Now, it's okay to only aim at a certain background. You could look at a messy table full of tools and other things. We got a project we're going to do here soon, and you know, even today, I was gone most of the day. Went to go help a couple different families score some free sources, and part of what I wanted to do, if you see I got a good pile of free sources, it doesn't mean I'm not interested in more. And I'm going to be using some of these resources, and I'm going to be using some that I don't have, so I actually need more moving forward. But I wanted to show my appreciation for one family who gave me the opportunity to get a bunch of free sources. And I said, look, I'm very grateful for this. If there's anything I can do, like even if it's just coming out for a day and just helping you guys get free sources, because they have some stuff they're doing kind of with raw land. So they've got a ways longer to go to even get where we already are. So we're somewhere good. We're working on getting somewhere better, but to get somewhere up to someone else up to the good that we're at, I don't mind investing some time and effort, especially if they helped me get where I am today. The cool thing is I only have one wounded shoulder to show for it, where I got hit by a falling 2x4. It's a little sore. I'll see how it is after I sleep on it. But otherwise, no worse for the wear. Spent a blessing of a day. Monster Truck and I went out and just helped a couple families get a hold of some free sources. You know, we've got tools on the table for another project coming up that's to bless others. But then I'm going to hit some of these things running around here. I've actually been making some progress outside with one project already and shooting a little footage for that. And I want to keep the ball rolling here. You know, get the ball rolling and keep it rolling to be making progress, hopefully, on an almost daily basis. With taking days off each week, with helping others periodically, and with working away from home. You know, some days I can't do it on a daily basis, and I don't just want every video to be me sitting by my fire talking or something like that. I want to show you guys some things, actually getting some stuff done, making some progress, being creative, sharing some of the things that are working well for us, sharing some of our failures, being an encouragement, inspiration, and motivation to others, and also equipping you guys with some thinking outside the box stuff and some real life skills, some knowledge, some wisdom, those type of things. So a couple of things that I didn't mention on my first video about some homestead goals I have for 2022 is that my woodshed, I'm doing a test right now to see how much wood, remind me Pinky, tomorrow before we leave to shoot the end of January video. Okay, I can do that when it's light, yeah, for the fire. But I'm doing a test to see if my one woodshed full of wood is enough this winter to make us last through all the wood we're pulling from there. All this stuff out here is coming out of that woodshed, and we're testing it, we're measuring it. So one thing I'm going to need to do is to refill the woodshed, and then I'm going to want to build a second one. So I've got a backup year's supply, or maybe not even a whole year's supply, depending on how the test goes, of dry stored wood. So I need to refill my woodshed and build a new one. With that, I'm going to have to be using up some of the old wood on my property. There's some old stuff on the driveway that's covered right now. There's some old stuff up by the garden shed. I want to take that stuff by the garden shed and get that all put in a woodshed, but then also extend the garden shed because there's a distance longer that it can go, and I can use that for seedlings, I can use that for the garden storage. There's a multitude of ways that I can use that space, and it shouldn't be too hard for me to put up and extend, so I want to be doing that as well this year. Also, that gutter that I put up on the shipping container lean-to was just kind of testing me with just putting up some gutters myself on my own property. I have a number of shorter sections that I want to be putting out in the poultry area. I want each of their buildings to have a gutter water catchment system that runs down into a reservoir that goes off into an actual watering thing, and I might try to do that with some sort of self-leveler so that if there's water in the catchment, that their thing is full, and that the vast majority of days we wouldn't need to add any water to it. That's a good goal. Also, I want to put catchment on my house. The water just falls straight off and it washes away some of the soil at the base of my house, and when it does that, it opens up the beneath of my house so that, you know, rats or rodents or other things can have access to the bottom of it. I want it more secure, and I also want to be catching that water, so I want to gutter my house. You know, besides talking about adding porches on it, I want to gutter what I already have and start catching that water and using it. I also want to hook up the electricity to my lean-to in by the shipping container, and do some stuff with replacing some, you know, hose bibs and stuff outside that are in need of repair. There's some things we've learned over the years, and we want to kind of continue with that. Also, this year I've already kind of started staging some things, but on the uphill side of my garden, I want to put in a rock wall. I'm talking a wall probably 30 feet or more long with, maybe about 4 feet high of rock. And I've got a couple of reasons I'm doing it. I didn't fully understand them all when I first got the idea, but I felt it was something that I should be doing, so I'm going to do it. And sometimes as I feel I need to be doing something, and then I begin to work those things out, I realize why in the process or even afterwards. I remember once I had a video about 4 benefits, I think it was 4, benefits of having a pond up by our garden that I didn't even think of ahead of time. If you guys are interested, check this out here, and if you watch this video at the end, on the end screen, I'll have it be one of the cards you guys can just click on. But I have these unexpected benefits of just having a pond in my garden area that I never thought of ahead of time. But now living it out, I realize it, and I like it, and I'm extra blessed by it. So I want to put in a rock wall to separate my garden area from one of my pastures. I want to do that this year. Also, as I was talking about putting in like shelters in each of the pastures, there's one up there by the garden pond. I'm considering building a tree house for the children, somewhere to play in that's up in the trees, but then underneath that could be the sheep shelter in that pasture. So that way if it's raining or something, they've got a place to go, but it's dual purpose, that the bottom of the treehouse for my children would provide the shelter for the animals. I think that'd be pretty cool. I also want to get a lean-to on my goat barn. I know I talked about adding a lean-to to the back of the garden shed and adding one to the mini barn, but I think that the goat barn needs a lean-to too. And it might actually be two. There might be a shorter one for feed on the east side, and then a longer one on the north side, just for shelter and other things out there. And then we also have to get a milk parlor built somewhere, a milking area for our cow and stuff, which is going to be coming up rather soon. So a couple months, I think, if everything went according to plan, that's what we're looking at. And then I'm considering building a pavilion here. One thing is that our house is not the biggest, and we kind of have a big family by some people's standards, and we know a lot of people who have lots of kids and other things like that. So if we're going to have kind of people over periodically, especially like if a couple families showed up, you could be dealing with 30 or more people just by having like 2 families show up at your house when you already got a family of 9. If that's the case, if it's hot outside or if it's raining, you know, outside's a hard place to be, and that's a lot of the year where it's either hot or raining. So I'm considering building an outside pavilion. Thankfully, I've already got some of the cedar posts for that I want. Thankfully, I've already got the roofing that I want for it. It's just some other things that I'll need. But I want to kind of provide that sheltered, shady, outdoor area that I can use. And then also, you know, I saved room in the lean-to that I built off the shipping container to be able to pull a vehicle in. Well, if there's a bad hailstorm, I don't want to pick and choose which vehicle to destroy and which one to save. If I had the pavilion, I could just pull the other vehicle in there. And then that would be a covered area. So that's some of the stuff that we're going on this year. It's a lot. I'll tell you, it's a lot. But I'm excited, and I think depending on how a couple things go, I might be able to knock a lot of things off of this list. Recently, I made a playlist called a Subscriber Recommended, Papa Approved. If you go to my homepage and you look down on my YouTube channel homepage, I think it'll be the second playlist after the Mama Pepper playlist that I just made. It should be the Subscriber Recommended, Papa Approved, because we care enough about you guys to read your comments, and we care enough about us to take your comments seriously and often apply them to our life. So I want things to fit into that category, that I can make specific videos about that and then give people, you know, shout outs too, just for saying, hey, this person here had a great idea. Kind of like I thought the Yeti from Humble Valley Homestead had a great idea in his video. Well, the stuff he talked about hit home. So I kind of, you know, gave him a shout out at the beginning of this one. If you guys want to check out that playlist, I'll put a card right here. You guys can click on that and check it out, or at the end screen, I'll put it up as one of those too for you guys who watch to the end. But basically, these things in my life, they have reasons. And I have to evaluate the whole of my life and compare the whole of my life and how I'm living to the goals that I have, see which things match up, and then see which steps I take to get to that destination I'm looking at. It's going pretty good, guys. It really is. I really enjoy it. I love life like every day. I'm just rejoicing and praising God and enjoying it and living and loving. Tonight, actually, Pinky Pepper and I spent our second night in a row writing up some of our book that she shot photos for a couple years ago. But it's going to be a fact-filled fiction book just to educate people on opossums. But there's also some other stuff in there that I think is just good for people to get exposed to. So I think tomorrow we're going to finish this, you know, and then I'm going to put it up as a digital copy, order some proofs, and then after that, release it to the general public and have it be something you guys could pick up for yourselves or your kids or your grandchildren. And I love creation. I love the creatures out there. I spend a lot of time interacting with them on a personal basis, but also just like educating people on them and taking some of the fears, some of the stigma, some of that stuff away. So part of the life I'm loving right now is sitting on my couch with my daughter, working on a book together. You know, she's getting some good skills in this. I'm getting some good skills in this. And by the end of it, we're going to have something that we can share with others. That's one of my goals, is to get this book published. I'm working on it right now. I'm also working on some edits for a kind of a fiction detective mystery type book I've spent more than a decade writing. And I got to finish it in the editing processes and get it put out there. But I wanted to throw these out there because I want to make a playlist by the end of the year showing just kind of my 2022 goals and how I did with them. And just as I complete projects on that goal list, put them up in a playlist too. And I think it'll be interesting to see what we can actually accomplish this year. Hopefully it'll inspire others as we head into summer with longer hours and more free time with some of the children and stuff. You know, I'll be getting more help. I think some things will really crank out. I'm interested. I'm excited. But, you know, there's only so many things I can control and only so much I can do. So we'll keep our life pretty raw. We'll keep it pretty real. It will be edited. I probably edited like a cough out of this video even. I coughed. I didn't show it to you guys. Doesn't mean I don't cough. It's just that you guys didn't need to sit there and watch me do it. But it's not fake. You know what I mean? And for those people who are kind of just trying to appeal to people by presenting something other than who they truly are, I hope they understand that either A, people are going to accept them for who they are, or B, they can work on who they are so that people could or should or would accept them. I mean, that's a possibility. I'm a whole lot different individual than I once was. And if you want to know why, I got a video that goes over why I am the way I am. I'm not ashamed of it. I like the life I live now. I'm glad I'm no longer who I once was. But I've got some other projects to work on. I'm excited about this. Yes, we edit our life, but we're still real. And hope that I can get done with these projects this year, at least a good pile of them. And I'm excited for it. Just like this was a project I once had, and I was intimidated because I never did any rock masonry like this. These came out of the creek. Those rocks, those are free sources. And with some subscriber recommended stuff from Mr. Heath Doty, I got through this. I did it. Now my family's blessed. We haven't ran our furnace this year, or this winter if you want to say that, because we haven't done this month of January, but we didn't do it November, December, stuff like that either. A blessing, because I accomplished a goal. It was on my list. I can make this right now on my own property. I don't know how to make propane, so live a life that makes sense, be inspired, and thank you guys for watching till the end. I'll put those little videos up here to click on. Be blessed. Papa out.